Hey guys, Tyler from Turnaround Sports here, and today we are going to talk about the future of swim training. I know it's not on everyone's radar right now just because of the pandemic and a lot of people aren't able to swim, but I did want to talk about it because there have been some huge advancements in the last couple of weeks, and we are going to talk about them now. So this is an athlete. This is her swim pace curve. This is very similar to a power duration curve or a pace duration curve for another sport like running or biking. But here we have it for the swim. You can see her peak 1,000-yard pace is 1:33, not too bad. This is all in yards, so keep that in mind. And then we have a little bit of, a 1,000-yard time, the total time, so about 15:28 for that peak 1,000 right there. You can see her average pace mixed in right in there. So from this, we can get a lot of good things right here. We can get her threshold, we can get the time it's going to take, and the time is where we are going to go. So on this chart here, for the left, we have our speed. On the bottom, we have time. So as the time extends, the speed typically drops over the course of your event or the amount of time you normally swim. So right here, we have a major drop off. This is right about, I'm going to call it 20 minutes right here, and I'm going to hold that right there. Okay, so from right here, we now know where this athlete starts to fatigue very heavily. And so we can progress the swim exactly the same as we do for the bike or the run or whatever sport you're doing. So now we know, all right, at 20 minutes, this athlete really fatigues. And what our job as coaches or your job as the athlete for the different phases, obviously for the first one, we're going to take this 20 minutes and we're going to try to push it out further towards the right. Ideally, if we can get it into the 45-minute range, that would be very, very good. For this athlete, that would be a 200% increase right there. After that, we're going to blow you up. We're going to increase your speed. You're going to get a lot of threshold bumps. That's where you're going to get a lot of your speed. But before we talk about all that, I do want to talk about the specifics of the swim training. So a lot of times when you do your speed workouts, like 10 by 400 or something like that, if you're just starting out, chances are you're going to be doing 4 by 400 or something equivalent. And after a couple of weeks, couple of months, you're going to come back and like, oh, I did 4 last time. I'm going to do 5 this time. Well, if you are an athlete that does 2-minute 100s and you decide to do an extra 400, that's an added 8 minutes. So what's been happening in the swim, and oftentimes it happens to triathletes a lot, they do an extra interval, they go a little harder, but what they don't take into account is that extra time. So going back to that 2-minute per 100, 400 swimmer, if this athlete could only do 5 right here, they do another one, that's going to push them to 28 minutes right there. Okay. This is why a lot of athletes get very, very tired. They get very fatigued. They don't know why. They're so much more tired from swimming than they are from biking or running or all of that. And it's because they do unrealistic increases in the duration or the amount of work that they are doing. A lot of times that time in zone, the sweet spot, endurance, tempo, FTP, whatever, a lot of times they're really good at holding it in those zones, but they forget about the future of swim training right here is the time. So now we have a little more accuracy, a little more data points with this. And so what you're going to start to see in the swim, gone are the days that you say, okay, we're going to do 200s or we're going to do this or we're going to do that. Now what you're going to be seeing is you're going to see more timed sets. And yes, it's a little more boring, but what you're going to do is directly impact those targets and your fatigue levels needed for those endurance races. This is probably not going to change for the regular swimmers, but for the endurance ones, the open water swimmers, this is going to be the future. You're going to see a lot more time-based sets here, and it does make sense. If you could say, all right, let's go back to those 400s. Like, okay, well now what I need you to do is hold your sweet spot pace at 25 minutes. What that's going to do is that's going to tax you a whole lot more. You're going to get the added benefits of those prolonged efforts, and it's also going to mimic race day conditions a heck of a lot better. A little more boring? Absolutely. No one really loves doing 20-minute intervals back to back to back. Of course not. But every once in a while, you're going to see those super specific swims in there. And that is the future of swim training. So take it, try it. If you need help, ask any questions, comments below, and I will be more than happy to help you out. Also, I will link up the Copeland swim zones that I published years ago. They still hold true today. And if you have any questions, guys, please reach out. The future of swim training is here.